All right, we haven't done these in a little while, so I thought I would jump on. Actually, I got reminded about this. Trying to pull up what the draws are for World Cup. I'm trying to get that. I guess it wasn't posted yet. I know that they talked about it. So, yeah. So basically, I already cleaned all my stuff. So, what I wanted to do was kind of talk about. Um, Let me change this before I forget. Get that live, so it's not the top chat stuff. Yeah. So as people jump on, of course, if you want, go ahead and put in comments down below. More than happy to answer those. I need to put my microphone away. I don't need that one. Ultimately, Chicago was fantastic. If you guys haven't seen, hey, 2-Bit, if you guys haven't seen my breakdown video, final thoughts video, all of that. Actually, let me look that up before I forget. I'm sorry to do this here, but let me go ahead and see if they posted this. I don't know if they posted it yet. They have not. Well then. All right. Anyways, yeah, it's been a little bit. Sorry guys. I guess one thing I wanted to ask, and you guys can put this in the comments down below, is what is it that if you're a member or thinking about becoming a member, what would be something that you would like that would be more exclusive to members? I mean, I have different levels. So you know what it is that you would like is definitely going to depend on you as a person. Maybe you don't really care. So that is definitely possible. But man, I wish that they would have posted this. Let me bring this up real quick and see if maybe they did post it over here. And doesn't look like it. So anyways, yeah, so put down in the comments what it is that you guys would like to see in regards to maybe member stuff. Because ultimately I want to put stuff out there that you guys like. Next season, I am going to be trying to push a little bit more. So again, if there is something that you want in particular as a member, whether it be member specific streams or member specific giveaways or whatever, I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah. But ultimately, let's talk about Chicago. Other than Sunday, the weather was fantastic. So if you guys had been watching, everything was great about the weather. It wasn't. Oh yeah, Marcus, you won like everything. The weather was fantastic. It wasn't rainy until Sunday. We'll talk about Sunday, but overall the event was really well run. There weren't any hiccups with anything. It wasn't anything that was some issue with scheduling or things got started late. If anything, they got ahead of schedule, which is a good thing because then that just means that the games are going pretty quick, and they can kind of adjust accordingly. I really like the snake on this field. So I don't play snake. I did jump in. If you watch the crisis match, I'm the one that dove into the snake and crawled down to shoot that wing. I should have stayed low, and I could have actually gone all the way down and shot the last two players. But I don't know, just brain fart and maybe not trusting myself. I'm not really sure, but still got the kill on that wing. But yeah, I mean the playing surface was great. We'll talk about Ruthless in a second. So playing surface was great. There weren't any like divots or things like that. I think there was one that I saw on one field. And even with that, it was the edge of like the backside of the bunker. So if you were running, it wasn't going to be anything that, you really had to worry about. So that's always, always a plus. So the snake, I think it was fantastic that they did this. There were still ways that you could shoot down on the snake. It was just a matter of figuring out where you had to get to on the field. But that also depended on what field. So certain fields, like the premier field, actually had a little bit of a divot, so the snake was a little bit higher than some of the center bunkers. And at practice, I was able to go to that center brick and shoot down on the snake and catch them. So whether it be their pack or waiting for them to pop up, I could kind of see where they were at. That wasn't going to be the case on this field. And that's okay. Like, that's practice to the event. That's always going to be the case. You always want to make sure that you're walking the layout, because there could be some change. And it's not that you necessarily did something wrong or your field did something wrong. Even if the league set it up incorrectly, that's still the correct layout. So you have to adjust. Even if you watch other high-end players as they're walking the field, they might walk back to that same spot, and there could be subtle differences that they notice, or, okay, I actually do have a blind shot to here, or this guy can shoot me here. I have to be careful of that. So yeah, so that was definitely really nice. Sunday was a different story. It rained a lot. It wasn't that it was terrible. It's just that it was cold. I'm used to like hot rain or warm rain in Florida, not really cold. I didn't bring my rain jacket, so that was on me. I should have done that. So I guess just a stupidity charge for that one, just to feel kind of cold. But yeah. So other than that, the event was fantastic. In regards to why Ruthless didn't play, so initially at the beginning of the year, it was either going to be Philly or Chicago. We weren't going to play all 5 events anyway, or I wasn't going to. That was the plan at the beginning of the year. And basically what happened was they just decided, look, we're not going to be playing semi-pro anymore. It's not cheap to play semi-pro. And it's something that, the competition is really hard. And, when you don't have consistent players or, stuff like that, it can make a difference in regards to, sorry, in regards to, how you play on the field. With Crisis, they've already had some experience in semi-pro, so I think that helped. But even with those guys, it was like, we went 2-2, which is fantastic. But could we have done better if there was other players? Possibly, but that's always going to be the case. There's a reason why Dynasty does so well, is because they all play really well together. So yeah. I think the reffing was pretty good overall. I know I talked about it in the other video, but yeah, it wasn't like one side of the field was worse than the other on both of the fields that we played on. So that was definitely a good thing. So I mean, the downside is that there were definitely some refs that didn't catch some shots. Like, there was one that I was like pretty sure that I shot this guy going in, and he might just got rid of it, or maybe it bounced. Like that's going to happen even with tournament paint. So, I mean, but ultimately, it wasn't like the refs were being real unfair on one side or the other. At least I didn't experience that, or we didn't experience that. There was one player that got a minor for something that maybe wasn't a penalty, but it's going to happen. Actually, I think it might have actually saved us a little bit against Titans, because he got a minor. So anyways, yeah. And then yeah, like the equipment was great. The location is awesome. I mean, Chicago in and of itself, you have Midway, you have O'Hare, you can fly into either of those, and it's not going to be too far from the field. And there's a lot of hotels, a lot of different food options. Of course, if you want to go and just be backed up for 3 days, you can go and eat deep dish pizza and have 14 pounds of cheese and a loaf of bread. But yeah. Although I didn't mention this in the video, but I'm thinking that from here on out, I don't know if I'm going to get the cheeseburger anymore at the event, because I think that's the thing that made me sick. There was one day that I think it was Friday. It was either Friday or Saturday that the guys wanted to go out to a restaurant. And initially I was like, well, this is expensive, so I can't go, but whatever. And then one of the guys was like, dude, I'll pay for you. It's fine. Just come. I was like, okay. In the car, I'm feeling sick and was like, my hand was kind of shaky. So I ended up getting an Uber back from the restaurant. And I think it was that burger. Like, it's not like I had anything out of the blue that day. I think it was that burger that just messed with me. So maybe it wasn't cooked all the way or cooked well enough. It is what it is. But yeah, maybe avoid the cheeseburger. I'm pretty sure I've had one before from there. So I don't know what difference this was, but okay. It wasn't great when I was feeling sick. And then the next day I felt fine. Or felt okay. So it wasn't like it went on for the whole event. But something for World Cup for you guys to look forward to. If you haven't seen the video on the draw, they haven't put up a picture of the draw. But the way that World Cup is going to work is that Dynasty, Damage, X Factor, and Tauntauns. So those 4 teams are going to be getting a bye from the prelims. The other teams, and this is going to include Joy Division and Verst Factory from Europe, they are going to have to fight their way through. So it wasn't that they are bad players. It's just that they didn't get first in Europe. Tauntauns are first overall, so they get the bye along with those other teams. So I don't know. I kind of like this system. I think it's interesting to see having the European teams come over as well. I know that technically Red Legion is a European team or, out of country team. International, I guess is a better way to say it. But bringing those guys over, I think, is really good. It used to be that the U.S. teams would go over and just destroy these European teams. So they go over to Millennium and just roll them over. It was ridiculous. A lot of these teams have gotten good. Like even last year at World Cup, Tauntauns, I think, made Sunday. So for them to or go deeper into Sunday, because I think they made Sunday regardless, or maybe they didn't. Now I have to double check that. But I think that there's these other teams that are definitely going to be ones that you have to worry about. Joy Division's come out of nowhere. I know that they have Harrison Fry with them. He won't be playing with them at World Cup. But one player doesn't make a difference. You still have 4 other guys on the field. So if they can just come together and work as a team like that, I think they're going to do great. And that's a team actually. So thank you to Joy. One of the players on Joy gave me one of the jerseys. I've been a fan of Joy Division. They were my first favorite pro team. So I'll have to hang that up. But it was really cool that they did that. So yeah, they were one of my favorite pro teams when I first started coming up. And I think it was literally just because of the leopard print. So whatever, there's stupid reasons why we do stuff. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, put in the comments, what do you guys think about this setup? As of right now, let me look at the most recent standings in regards to pro. So don't tell me that you're not going to work. Don't give me this nonsense. Let me flip back over here. So with pro, for those that don't know, the bottom team is going to drop to semi-pro. The top semi-pro team is going to move in and play pro next year. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get the most up-to-date scores and rankings. So I'm trying to click on if it would. Oh my goodness, why is it doing this? Series standings. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. So right now, obviously Damage, Dynasty, and Heat are all going to be just fine. Heat is the other one, actually, that's getting a bye. I think it'll be Heat. or maybe it'll be X Factor as well. Now I need to double check that. But in regards to points, I mean, Dynasty is only above damage by 56 points. So they do have a chance of being able to win the series, which I think is absolutely possible. I think that damage has kind of found their groove again, being able to go in, execute what they need to play. They play a lot of guys now. So it's good to see a lot of those younger players, or some of them aren't younger, but they've just taken a break from pro for a while, have, started to get more spins. Some surprising stuff. I mean, Ironmen are 19th overall. They should be pretty safe from relegation. It would be kind of crazy if Ironmen got relegated because that's such a legendary organization. It'll be kind of like when Aftershock just had a really bad season, and it was kind of, they were on the downfall, and they just weren't able to pull it through. So, it's not ideal. They don't want that to happen. And I don't know what what Dye would do, if they would try to buy another spot or if they would just let it go. I don't know. But we'll see after World Cup. Maybe they go and move in. I mean, but they haven't been doing great in regards to standings. I mean, first event, they got 17th, then 12th. So they did get into the top 12, and then 19th. And then this last event, they got 18th. So they're at 168 points, which is not great. But I think the story is the Saints. Like, I'm friends with those guys still. Right now they're at 30 points. Now World Cup does have double points, so they do have a chance of being able to fight back. But for them to even tie at 168, let me see. They would need to get like 12th or better, and that would be just to tie. So it would have to be that like Ironman would get dead last and the Saints would get like 12th. And that would save them. So it's not impossible. It's just really tough in pro to go and to have a season like that and to come back from that. I mean, they got 20th, 18th, 20th, and 20th. So getting last places like that are only getting you 1 point. It's not going to be anything that's real great. So, and then what's weird is Notorious. Like, they got 14th, then they got 20th, then they got 10th, and then they got 19th. So like, they're having this really crazy roller coaster going on. But for their first season, for them to even make Sunday in their first pro season is fantastic. And I think those guys are going to do well as long as they stick together and they play as a team. That's the big thing that, in my opinion, when I watch the Ironmen play, I don't see team paintball. I see a lot of individual paintball, which if you're not working together as a team, you're not going to win. And there's only so much that a good player can do. They might be able to get you 1 or 2 points just on their own backs. But if you're not playing as a team protecting that person, then they're just going to get run down and it's not going to be good. Level's been kind of struggling. They're 15th overall right now. I mean, they did get 14th at the last event in Chicago. Red Legion has definitely come back. I mean, they got 6th. Like, that is definitely fantastic for them. So for them to go from, they got 19th the first event, then 11th, then 15th, and then 6th. So for them, that's really good. That means that they're back on the upswing. Those guys are fantastic paintball players. Kirill has been running that team forever, and they have a lot of the same guys. So you have these players that are really, really good that are just killing it on the field. So, that's definitely good to see them on the rise. I think the Hurricanes next season, I think they'll get top 4 and make, the semis. I'm sorry. I think they might even make the finals. I think that's what I'm going to say right now. So Hurricanes are a team that Mike Bianca, if you guys want to learn how to really break the game down. So Mike Bianca runs that Zen and the Art of Paintball. So if you go, he has a blog that you can go on to. I don't think there's any paywall stuff or whatever. Mike Bianca has been around top level paintball for a long time. Like, he used to help out with the Ironmen. He would do like their analytics, and he could literally be like, okay, so I got this guy here. And, from scouting, I see that if this guy is on the field, there's a like 13% chance he's going here and like a 48% chance he's going here. Like that kind of stuff makes such a big difference that he's just someone that if you can pick his brain about paintball, it would be so helpful for you. But yeah, I mean, like that's a team that has really nobody. When you look at that team, they don't have any quote unquote names of like superstars in paintball. So for them to be doing so well just goes to show, what it is that you can do if you work together. I think Extreme will be another one that next season they're going to be in the top again. I mean, I'm looking at the 5th and 6th seed overall right now. Extreme is 5th and Hurricanes are 6th. I mean, the fact that Hurricanes got top 4, they got 4th, 5th, and 7th. Like to go from almost being relegated to this is amazing. Like that's such a great thing for them. Now, let's talk about semi-pro. So right now, the PB Fit guys are, 16 points above Blast Camp. I know I have fans of Blast Camp. I'm not saying anything bad about that team. That is not what I'm saying when I say this kind of stuff. If Blast Camp doesn't make Sunday and go deeper into Sunday, I think that Fit even making Sunday should be enough for them to secure that pro spot. Now, if they go and win, those double points might be enough to put them in possibly, because that'd be 200 points, which would put them at 584 points. No, Fit might still have it. I'm trying to do the math in my head because second place you get 96 points, so that'd be 182. Yeah, 182 points. Right? Am I doing that math right? I have a calculator right here. I can just do it. 192. So that still wouldn't be enough. They need Fit to not go deeper on Sunday, which that team's been killing it. I mean, for them to go and just like sweep teams is nuts. And one of the reasons why they do that is they have the ability to go and practice so often. So obviously there is PB Fit out in Texas. It's a great facility. They're able to go and practice guys like Diesel. They practice on a regular basis together. Like I said, it's putting those teamwork aspect things together. And also when you play enough, you start picking up on the weird little things that you can do as a player. And then you start to be able to trust each other and be able to do that. So yeah, so that's all good for them. The other teams are 350, 332, 328, and 322. And that would be Newbies, Nasty, Killers, and Sea Dogs. I don't know that any of them, I think there has to be some crazy stuff to happen so that way they are having a chance to get the pro spot. But it's one of those weird things. It's kind of like, so with Crisis, when we were playing and we went 2-2, it was something like, okay, if we are, if Sea Dogs get beat by Newbies 5-0, then that gives us a chance or something like that. And you never want to get down to that kind of stuff. Like just go win and you won't have to worry about it. So yeah. Now Shut Up We're Trying has been doing fantastic. They'll be semi-pro next year. I'm sure New York Wrecking Crew will also be. I don't see why they wouldn't. They got 4th, 1st, 5th, and 2nd. And they're not too far behind. So I think that those guys will probably move up. I know Marcelo is helping with coaching them. I'm not sure how much that's going to change or maybe even be more going into next year. But I don't see why they wouldn't move up to semi-pro. And the thing with semi-pro is next year. So let's just say Fit and Blast Camp aren't there. You still have some great teams like GG Factory is going to be coming out with a vengeance, I'm sure. Padres have been doing well. Blitz has struggled a little bit, but they're good. Sea Dogs are great. Killers are consistent. This last event, there was some weird stuff happening. Talked to one of their players about it. Just kind of, yeah, there's just something off with them. I just kind of, the vibe was different. And then Nasty and Newbies are fantastic teams. like us playing newbies Friday, they whether they have Damian and Carl or not, they are just a good team overall. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now I have heard some rumors. This is all allegedly. I'm not going to say what teams, but I have heard that there might be some pro teams that are selling their spots. So you can speculate all you want. I just have some ears that have heard some things. Yeah, that was interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Running a pro organization is not easy. I think Fit will do really well because they are able to, they can get a lot of backing from GI because whenever teams are there, they have a field that they can just pump a bunch of paint out of. They're able to essentially fundraise with that stuff. They have Hydra. So they have all this stuff that they're able to like put into the team. So for them, that's fantastic. But for some of these other teams that are trying to just, go with the flow, it's tough. Like it's not cheap. Trying to go and compete at that level is not easy. Keeping guys around is not easy. So you have a lot of stuff going against you when you're playing pro, much less the teams. So, going in and having that pressure is definitely interesting. So, speculate all you want. I'm not going to say what teams in particular. I have heard it's a couple, but we'll see. I'm curious as to what the league will do with if they're going to keep it at 20 teams. This isn't a rumor I've heard, but it'd be interesting if they went to 25. I don't know if that would be a good idea or a bad idea. Probably a bad idea. It's just going to kind of saturate pro. But when they had the champs and challengers division, like that was cool. Like I thought it was interesting. What I think would be really interesting, and this is something that I think would be the best game on Sunday at World Cup, is if they had it where the top semi-pro team and the bottom pro team had to play each other. And rather than it just being strictly points, it's like, this is your chance to go out and prove that you deserve to stay there or that you deserve to take their spot. I think it'd be really interesting and really great. Like there would be so many people watching that because either that team is going to get blown out or it's going to be super close. And then there's going to be a lot of hype around, let's say it was Fit versus Saints. Who's going to win out of that? Okay. Like Fit's great, but Saints have also been playing pro now for 2 years. So would that help them enough? Would they be able to, hey, we're either gonna die or we're gonna be surviving here. So, it could be interesting for that kind of stuff to happen. But yeah, I guess we'll that's why we shoot at each other. And also I'm not the commissioner, so I can't make decisions like that. So, it is what it is. But I think what we'll do is let's see. Let me pull up my calendar and see when it was. So it looks like the next one is supposed to be the 5th for the next live stream. Usually when I do these, there's not a whole lot of people. So I don't know. I guess put in the comments, is this something that you guys would even want to continue doing? Or is it something that, hey, as a member, I'd rather see this? Guys, like put that stuff in the comments. It's not going to offend me. Hey, I just want these things, or hey, I just want giveaways. Cool. Like we can figure that stuff out. But yeah, put in the comments what it is that you'd like to see. But I'm going to call it a night. So got work tomorrow. So I'm going to, and then I have to do some editing as well. So just, fun stuff of a full-time dad, YouTuber, teacher, all that. So thank you, everyone. I will see you at World Cup. I'll try to remember this too, but I do have stickers. So at World Cup, if you see me, definitely come up and grab me and I can give you some for sure. So I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.